Well, so speaking of Cooper Webb, I mean, obviously, I don't know him personally. I think most fans obviously don't. What we see at the races and what we can kind of, he does seem like a little bit more of that hard edge, like I'm not here to make friends kind of
Mm,
mentality.
mm.
Is that just our perception of it, or is that more the reality?
No, I think it's more of a perception when he puts his race face on and he goes to race the races. That's the way he gets into his bubble.
Hmm.
Um, but he's not. I mean, during the week, he's joking with the guys and enjoying and I feel like he's got a really really good balance. But that's the problem in our sport. You know, you're only going to see the sort of the race part of it, and even when we do have media and cameras around, they all got to behave like they're serious. You know, not to say they're not, but
Right.
you know, you've got to apply yourself. You have sponsors watching. You have this. You know, you've got to like, hey, all right, and you know that's where it gets a little sort of strange where you and especially being a guy that's you know winning championships and so much is expected, you the application is almost intensified, if I
Hmm.
can say so. But no, I mean I feel like he's got a really really good balance with the way he applies himself and also simplifies things, you know.
Can you give me an example of that? Like, what do you mean that he simplifies things?
Well, he only focuses on the things that he really needs to focus on. You know,
Okay.
he doesn't get distracted into other sort of areas or find his plate is full. I feel like he's not running off here or traveling there or going to, you know, golfing this that. He actually keeps a very mediocre, straight, mellow scenario. You know, where other guys I think apply a lot of things onto their plate, but that's maybe a way of them finding a way to relax in a way and not having their mind on this job all the time. And that is important. I think you have to have that balance where it doesn't consume you, but it also doesn't allow you to lose focus on what's very important, you know.
Yeah, I mean that kind of makes me think of racers that are maybe single versus married versus a girlfriend. Like,
Mhm.
is that something that you've seen? Because there's some people out there that say keep if your home life's good, then your racing's good.
Yeah.
If you're stressed out about finding a date, then you might not be riding great.
Yeah.
So, is that something that you have to deal with?
And that's one of those things, yes, that riders evolve, you know, where they start off and they typically either don't have a girlfriend or soon one comes along, and then that into to marriage, wife, some of them even to children. So their whole world changes. Um, so that to me can be a distraction, or it actually can be a helpful environment for them
Hmm.
because I see some of the younger guys and I know they're on their phone all the time looking at what's on there, what's available, whatever, you know, and you know, like guys, you've got a full deal every week, pretty much every weekend you're racing.
Yeah.
Why do you want to add something else or get it, you know? So those are the human aspects that you can't just put everything in a box and it be perfect. It's managing it and also educating them on, hey, listen, if you go down this road, just at the end of the day, you decide, but these are the problems that can come with that. Or, you know, parents that have built them up to a point where they've got them to where they've got an unbelievable factory ride or you know they and to me we never lose sight of that. That's the beginning. That's ultimately the people that got them there. But
Hmm.
when is that point where they let them kind of go out a little bit on that slack and be accountable to the team, or let a trainer take a little bit more control, or whatever the case is? Those are those fine lines where there's no guarantee in any of that, you know. And even from the rider's point of view, how he transitions from a young kid in a way to becoming an adult in a sport that's a very young man's sport.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of leads me to my next question about, like, you've trained so many of the top guys and you've trained a whole different age range. So what would you say is the biggest difference between kind of the young guys and maybe like Ryan Dungey his last year? Like what is What do you notice?
Well, I noticed as they evolve, so the progression, and the, they'll hang it out on the line, and they pretty much that desire and commitment. Not to say that it never ever really changes, but there's something that changes when they reach those goals that we spoke about earlier. And obviously, a goal is to win a championship. Then is it a goal to back it up, or how many times? And I do feel like you get to a point where they looking at it like they've reached more goals than they've ever dreamt of. They financially have been successful. So at what point is that enough is enough? And that also all in lines with how much am I having to put on the line, on the training, the dedication, the risk factor of getting hurt. All these scenarios start to kick in, that also that little piece of the puzzle where that expectancy of how many, what I think I can cope with, and also how I see myself as a guy when I want to retire. Is it because I had to retire, meaning I was on the decline, or I feel like every top athlete would want to say, man, I want to reach all my goals and then retire on top. That would be a perfect story. But what is that? And how is that evolving? So it's not as simple. So going back to Dunge, I mean, he reached all his goals, and I think he got to that point where he was, do I want to hang it out again for just another one, or what? And when he was also looking forward to, I've held off having kids. That was a decision that him and his wife had made.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be done with racing and then go down that road. That was, so there again, it was also a decision and the goals of them as a couple. And, you see that progress from when they girlfriend and boyfriend to later on. So there's no set way. Some guys, I mean, I look at Zach and, he's got kids and it hasn't changed any way he's applied himself. In fact, I think it's actually helped calm him down. So I don't think there's one mold that fits perfectly for every rider. I think it's a way that they just evolve, and how that application with the goals that they have at that particular time are put in place.